Hey everybody, One of Wisdom here. We are back, part 144 of our Skylanders Giants Blind playthrough. This is going to be a cool one, I hope. Favorite characters, of course, Terrafin. That is the last of our Series 2 Earth Element Skylanders to get upgraded. If you recall, last time, of course, SSA, he was only available in Pirate Seas. One of the things I like to do, of course, number one, I'm a big fan of the armor upgrades, which he didn't have that, but he did have something completely unique still, even at this point, the ability to go underground. When you pick the Sandhog path, it enhances that. You actually get to the point where, with Razorfin, you damage enemies while you burrow underground, and then of course your Soul Gem, that worked. It allowed you to kind of, pick up the food items and power up, so you could essentially burrow, damage enemies, and restore your own health. It's a pretty amazing deal. That said, you don't really have to resort to that because he's such a beast with just his base upgrade paths. That said, this repose is awesome. It's got the big brass knuckles on it. He's kind of unloading on the uppercut. As promised, as I've done with the other characters, even with Series 2 Prison Break, took him down Prismancer, even though I'm not a fan of the yellow. Said it in SSA, if they had a returning character in Giants, I would go ahead and take them down the other path. That's what I'm going to do here. I may try, eventually if they're on sale. GameStop sold out. I got shorted on Thumpback and Eyebrow, so I'm, not looking forward to that. But eventually, when they're half price, I'm hoping I can find a Terrafin or something and, have two of the Series 2. It is an awesome pose, but that said, this is what he looks like in base form. He has done a few heroics. Of course, the do-rag, it doesn't add much. Okay, we already dropped a ton of frames, and all I did is move around. Okay, I'm going to actually end this because that's not a good sign, so I'll come back in and we'll hopefully not have frames dropping on us. Okay, so hoping that this doesn't drop a ton of frames, like we saw with Series 2 Prison Break. I thought all was well, but then as soon as we got back to action, bad things happened. So, here's Terrafin, and we're very slow frame rate. I'm just going to go in and we're going to look at...
Let's go.
Yeah, that's right, we're going to go to the scorecard because I don't think frames will drop in here. So, that said... let's take a look here. Yeah, the hat's just +4. I mean, it's not a big deal. Like I said, he's done quite a few heroics, but by no means all of them. The quests, of course, there's some you can't do. PvP, until it's single player, that's just such a pain for me to do. I basically only get to do it with my nephews here when I feel like, playing myself or something, which is ridiculous. But see, right here, the landlubber, eat 20 food items while burrowing. You actually can't do that until you have the Soul Gem. Obviously, I haven't upgraded anyone, so that's why that one's a little lacking. But plan is, my favorite character will complete all the quests. If I have time before Swap Force, I'll kind of give you some tips and tricks on the quests I figured out over time. That said, we want to take a look at his upgrades. He begins with the punch. Press A to punch the enemy. Press AA, hold A to perform the combo. Pretty sweet, he has that right off the bat. Earth Swim, this was another cool thing. You'd think it might be like a tertiary move or something, but it's actually just his secondary attack. B to burrow, and while underground, press A to perform a belly flop. Those belly flops, even in box stock form, quite effective. First purchased upgrade is going to be, I could save time by going through these with Persephone. Since we're doing it, I'll do it this way. Punch attacks do increase damage. Mega Belly Flop does increase damage and affects a larger area. Feeding Frenzy. Press Z to spawn mini sharks that burrow and latch on to enemies. Multi-target punches. Punch attacks hit multiple enemies. Then you get to the point you pick Sandhog or you pick Brawler. This is what I really want to highlight here. Sandhog is what I took with Series 1 back in the SSA playthrough. Begins Master Earth Swimmer, increased speed while burrowing. Doesn't sound like much, comes in very handy. Homing Frenzy's up next. The mini sharks home in on enemies and do extra damage. To be honest, I'm not a big fan of the homing sharks. I don't use them very often. He's just so good with the belly flop and the punches that I just never really had to rely on that. Razor Fin, this was awesome. Doesn't do a lot of damage, but it's still cool. While burrowed, where you're basically indestructible, you can now do damage with your dorsal fin. That, of course, then the Soul Gem, like I mentioned, Surface Feeder. You can collect the power-ups while burrowed. Obviously, if you're having trouble with this quest, now you know why. You have to have the Soul Gem. Wow Pow, and this is going to be interesting for me to experience. It's called the Dive Burrow. While in the air for a belly flop, press B to immediately dive back underground. Not quite sure how that's going to work out. I don't know if it's going to do damage or just let you escape what you deemed, a bad situation and skate off or something. Gonna have some fun playing around, figuring it out. That said, what I plan to do with this Terrafin is take him down Brawler. It begins with Pugilist, I don't know. Press AA, hold B for Body Slam. Press AA, hold Z for Uppercut. So he's basically getting two sweet moves, and again, uppercut's kind of what you see in that pose for Series 2. This time around, you get the Spiked Knuckles. All punch attacks do even more damage. I've loved solid numbers. I'll try to get him for you in a heroic challenge. And then Frenzy Shield. You launch mini sharks at enemies who damage you. The way I play the game, this might actually be more useful than just even having the tertiary attack. I rarely use them, but when they're going to be dispatched automatically, I'm not going to complain. So, kind of looking forward to that. That said, I'm kind of afraid to show you his base attack right here because I think it's going to drop frames. I guess I'll try. That's it. So, nothing too bad happened there. Then, of course, you can burrow, and then the belly flop looks like that. So, glad to see we've not dropped the frames yet. I'm going to come in here, deal with Persephone. You know the drill. You do need 11,520 to fully upgrade your Series 2 Skylanders. Alright, so we're going to get started with Brass Knuckles. The punch attacks do increased damage. Obviously, where you saw Bare Fist, now we're going to have Brass Knuckles. Cost is a measly 300. Again, this is with all 20 Wing Sapphires. King of the Ring. Alright, so, pretty sweet look. They're kind of rounded like a crown. Note they've kind of got that, where it was kind of like a blue-gray streak before. Now it's kind of the brass coloring. Next up is the Mega Belly Flop. The Belly Flop does increase damage and affects a larger area. Cost 420. I think you'll be able to tell what's going on here. Yeah, it's pretty obvious. I mean, just compared to what you saw on the deck. Next up is the Feeding Frenzy. Again, I don't use it a lot. It is kind of cool. Sort of Sonic Boomish to me. But press Z to spawn mini sharks that burrow and latch onto enemies. Cost is 540. Maybe in Swap Force, if they did away with this, they could add something like really cool. But that's basically what they do. I'll showcase it better in the heroic challenge for you. Next up is the multi-target punches. This is his last purchased upgrade, around 720. Punch attack hits multiple enemies. Alright, now right here, if you're just coming through upgrading, your Skylander, you can press B to get out. If go ahead and pick your path so you don't have to sit through a pointless cutscene. The good news is with the Series 2, say you accidentally pressed A and you wanted to do Brawler and you got stuck on Sandhog, you can switch with the Series 2s. If this was like Flashwing, for example, you're going to have to reset the character. So, take your time, be careful when you get to that final purchased upgrade. But like I said, if you know what path you want to take, go ahead, select it now. Again, we're going to do Brawler. It'll be my first experience with that, and hopefully it'll be a good one. Alright, so we had multi-target punches. Again, can't really showcase that one too terribly well, but let's come in here and get to the good stuff. Again, like I said, if you accidentally clicked Brawler and you wanted Sandhog or vice versa, hit this, there's no money lost at this point in time. So we're going to go ahead in here, we're going to get Pugilist. Press AA, hold B for body slam. Press AA, hold Z for uppercut. I am interested in seeing what the body slam is. I don't know if that's like a increase on the belly flop. I don't know if he's gonna like grab trolls and just WWF type stuff on them or what. And yes, it was the WWF when I grew up, so you know, history lesson there. But gonna be fun to see what this exactly does. So.
Who wants an autograph?
Alright, so we will try AAB first. I'm just pressing A. The first two times that he spun around, it was B. We may need an enemy to really showcase that. I don't know. That's like a 360 to me, but we'll try AAZ now. That was a big uppercut. He kind of does it, you know, like right there. But now I'm gonna do the Z version. Watch how much higher in the he leaves the ground actually. And if you know it, there's almost like a floral pattern to Persephone's carpet. I don't know if I've ever mentioned that. Anyway, that looked pretty dadgum cool. So we now have the spiked knuckles. This is going to be sweet because it's actually going to match what we see in his Series 2 pose. Cost is $13.20, and punch attacks will do even more damage. I don't know why he's always on the carpet.
King of the ring.
Anyway, yeah, that looks pretty dadgum cool. Now note, you know where it was that brass color? We've got just almost hyper white silver light. You know, let's try the uppercut now to mimic the pose exactly. Yeah, that's gonna be sweet. Computer was going to sleep there. Go ahead now, we will get his final upgrade down the Brawler Path. It is Frenzy Shield. Again, I think this will actually come in handy for me. I like Terrafin so well, I rarely use the, you know, mini sharks. But this, they, you know, say that I'm battling like 2 Shadow Knights, a Crystal Golem, and then some Blaster Troll hits me from behind or something. Apparently the mini sharks will just shoot off after the Blaster Troll got us from behind. So cost is $1,800. It is Frenzy Shield. You launch mini sharks at enemies who damage you.
King of the ring.
And again, obviously cannot showcase that to you at this point, but we can go ahead and get the Soul Gem. Surface Feeder, collect power-ups while burrowed. In addition to being completely unique, is the only Skylander that can go underground in SSA. The Razor Fin, you know, lets you deal damage, and then you can come in and you get Surface Feeder. So, granted, we won't have Razor Fin down this path, but you know, we can shoot the mini sharks or something to make it up for it. So maybe down Brawler I'll use that tertiary attack a little bit more. Cost is $2,400 for the Soul Gem, and we're gonna pick that up. Again, can't show you that, but we'll deal with it shortly. Now the big deal, this is why you go ahead if you have Terrafin from Pirate Seas. This is why you buy Series 2, aside from the awesome repos and your ability to go down the other path with him. The Wow Pow, you know, for the people really pushing it off or, you know, saying, why should I do it? It's the Wow Pow. You can switch the paths, but the main thing, you get the extra move. His is called Dive Burrow. While in the air for a belly flop, press B to immediately dive back underground. Gonna get a feel for this one out on the deck real quick. Alright, so he looks pretty sinister at this point in time. Let's go ahead now. There's his basic punches, just tapping A. Now I'm going to do the body slam combo, AAB. Oh, okay. So now inside he was doing like some spin around deal, 360 type thing. Out here he's actually, okay, that's what he was doing in there. And then out here he's doing a body slam. It's almost like a belly flop without being burrowed, essentially, or a body slam actually. Now the uppercut AAZ combo, pretty sweet. Now of course we're going to burrow, and this will just be the standard belly flop. And I think they said it was B to just go back underground while you're in the air, I think. Yeah, so say you were gonna belly flop and you decide not to, just press B and you're back in. Whether that'll do damage or not, I don't know, but we are going to find out.
Now that you took out Chaos, are you ready to really test yourself with these challenges?
Just for my personal reference, at 1340-ish right now, in case this drops frames and I have to redo it. So, obviously I've done this one, but I'm gonna do it again because, like I said, there's just a nice assortment of enemies. Really gives me a chance just to kind of, we can come in and see and assess, you know, like what damage points we're doing. So here we go.
So here's the sitch.
3, 2, 1, go!
Alright, we're gonna start out just a basic punch if possible.
A teleporter has appeared.
32. Pretty impressive right there. Alright, let's do some mini sharks. 8. Okay, so that's nothing to write home about, but see if we can take him out with mini sharks.
A teleporter has appeared.
What a pansy. Anyway, that's what the mini sharks do. Now the belly flop. So it's gonna form in. Oh, I forgot they killed themselves. We'll take out the Shadow Knight. 65. Pretty impressive. We got 32, 8, 65.
A teleporter has appeared.
And more importantly, let's go ahead and belly flop this guy. No, I want to do the combo. Well, we can't. That's too fast. Check this out. 97. Did I just see a 97? Let's try. I don't know if that was the 65 and 32 combining or what exactly, but I do know it was 97. So, let's have some fun. Alright. That is like a joke. It's so easy with Terrafin. Yeah, there's a guy up here.
A teleporter has appeared.
What else can we do? I guess let's try his wow powder. Oh wow, it does do damage. I don't know if you could tell, but I did it. I'll do it again right here. I'm gonna burrow, pop up, and not body slam.
A teleporter has appeared.
So the cool thing there, I was thinking it'd be kind of nullified. You just kind of go back, you know, to nothing. But that was a 97 on the top side. 32s, 48s. Can't go wrong with it. The only thing that you're missing from this path really is the razor. If it had razor fin tied in somehow, this cool. Let's try to do some combos here. Well, they keep dying too fast. We're getting 32s and 48s on our enemies there. Okay, so I want to come here just to showcase. He just eradicated that. Yeah, this is pretty sweet. Okay, so we'll take the correct teleport this time. Let's try the wow. Oops. Okay, my bad there. So you saw it, I went right back underground and it still did the damage. So, pretty cool. Let's go ahead now and make sure there's nothing else we can. We'll break everything. This is where the lightning struck, literally. When I had Series 2 Prison Break, I was like this, and then the lightning hit, the power went out, and everything was lost. Just so you know.
Complete. Excellent job.
The good news
Way
is
to
we
hang
haven't
in there.
dropped
Beat that
frames
challenge.
in this one. So.
Hope you like your reward.
Or we did, just not in this part 2 of the recording. So. Oh, did not mean to do that. I would love to play another one, but after what happened with Series 2 of Prison Break when we did another one, not gonna chance that. So, that said, pretty impressive there with Terrafin. Not that I expect anything less. But, basically 32 on the base attack. I didn't really get to do the body slam or the uppercut primarily because the base attack was killing everyone, including the Shadow Knights and Crystal Golems. Belly flop looked like 65, at times it was 97. And then the Wow Pow, which is when you burrow and you don't want to do a belly flop, you press B and go back in. You can kind of see the shockwave. I thought it might do damage, but I couldn't really picture them doing that. It does, and that is very cool. It seemed to do 97 every time. Again, when we get hit, which I didn't really see it, I guess, because we basically wiped the enemies out first, but in like actual chapter gameplay with tougher enemies, when we get hit down the Brawler Path, he should dispatch the mini sharks out for us, Shield Frenzy or Frenzy Shield, whichever it was. But overall, pretty impressed. Again, Terrafin, personal favorite. Only way you could really improve on him is if you somehow combined Brawler with Razorfin and a little bit of speed while burrowing. He's pretty quick here, just not as quick as he is on Sandhog, but that's really about all you could do. I want to go ahead. I meant to push pause there. I don't want to lose any frames, so I'm going to go to the pause screen. But like I said, pretty impressed there. The cool thing is, by taking him down, Brawler actually mimics what you see on his repos. We've got the spike knuckles. He's in the middle of an uppercut. Like I said, this is a character, maybe when I record Nightmare Mode, we'll really get to truly assess what he's capable of. But that is that. That is Series 2 Terrafin, fully upgraded down the Brawler Path. I'd showcase Sandhog to you, you know, but I'm afraid we'd drop frames at this point in time, so that would ruin everything, and I don't want to lose that. So 145, I think I'll introduce Gnarly Tree Rex. If that goes well, I'll come in, I'll introduce the sidekicks, and then I think we will be ready for the fire element upgrades. So might come in and do Swarm, since we did Gnarly and something special, and then get back to fire. Just kind of depends. That, of course, would be Swarm's second upgrade, which I may actually label accordingly, and then just like part 2 or something. Not quite sure yet, since it's not done, but I'll quit rambling about that. I'll figure it out. As always, thanks for watching. You can follow me on Twitter, like me on Facebook, circle me on Google+, whichever you prefer. Make sure you're subscribed to keep up with all the latest, and if you don't already do so, please make sure to visit oneofwisdom.com for all the latest. Always got cool polls running. Currently have the Castaways, Newlanders, a couple big polls showcasing which game you prefer, SSA or Giants. Always something new on there. You can kind of keep up with all of the latest. But again, thanks for watching, and I will catch you back here for part 145 of our Skylanders Giants Blind play.